Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Every Degree Matters. I'm your host Saffran Minhar. We have exciting topics that have happened. We had the State of the Union just happened on Tuesday. We got a good speech from President Trump talking about the economy, immigrations, border is closed, national security. We're going to talk about that. A lot of people didn't show up, especially on the Democratic side, but it was one of the longest ever recorded State of the Union. And we also have a big international news that happened last week. Andrew got arrested. He's no more the prince, so Andrew Mountbatten got arrested. And then we also have the former Norwegian Prime Minister getting arrested. His name is Thorbjørn Jagland. Was hospitalized because of the Epstein scandal. So he was suicidal. He didn't get arrested, but he was trying to kill himself basically because of this whole Epstein situation. It was very sad. We also had the congratulations for the U.S. Hockey team and the women team, female and the men and women team for winning the gold medal in the Winter Olympics. We're going to talk about that. We also have an international scale Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister of India, visiting Israel. So let's get into the podcast. Thank you everyone for joining. This is your host Saffran Minhar. Welcome back to Every Degree Matters. Let's first just talk about what happened during the State of the Union address. Trump, it was a mixed feelings, I would say, where you got a lot of Trump was bragging about what he has done, what he's going to do. And as usual, the Democrats were, sitting down. They didn't talk about it. They didn't stand up, except for this one moment where when the Trump said that the U.S. hockey team is here, they all stood up and for America. Thank God, at least they did, which is a good thing. In detail, Trump also thanked Marco Rubio. Was a fun part, like you were saying. He's like kind of picking up his predecessor to carry on the mega torch, but I don't know how it's going to go. But it was very funny, and then it was very. I mean, it's a good thing, but it was also like Marco Rubio has like everything now. He's like maybe the president in 2028. You never know. So, but this was the longest ever recorded State of the Union that went for 1 hour and 48 minutes. That's crazy, right? We also had the members of his cabinet. We also had the Supreme Court was there. The whole Supreme Court justice attended. So, the State of the Union, for people who don't know, is where the president addresses the union. That means the Congress and the Senate together. It's the address that president gives every year by the invitation of the speaker, where he comes there and he tells the state of the country when he took over, like what has happened in the past 1 year. Basically, he tells it all to the Congress people and the Senate, because they all kind of represent the 50 states and the 435 people represent all the districts in America. So that's how it's kind of perceived, and it's like a traditional process where president comes in, talks about it, and then president also talked about the economy and job. Trump claimed that the inflation is plunging, but rising income, but stronger stocks and manufacturing growth as an evidence of economic success. We also saw he talking about the border security. He's saying that there was zero illegal aliens, which is false. I think there's 25,000 people that came in last year. So there's still people coming in. And then he also talked about the national security and national and border security, where he highlighted that he might go to war with Iran. And then he also talked about capturing Maduro. He also talked about the U.S. Space Force as a key defense agent. He also had Trump also referred to a domestic policy proposal. He called it the strict voter ID. That's something President wants to do it. He also wants to ban sanctuary cities and expand military spending and healthcare reforms. He talked about that. He also honored Medal of Honor for many President Medal of Honor and Presidential Medal of Freedom were also awarded for military heroes and athletics and first responders. Where he talks, because this is a key State of the Union, because as you all know, we have the midterm elections. I think the this one they're going to lose big time, but what do you call? This is a key important topic for Trump, where he's going to address the union. Sorry, to make sure that he protects all. I mean, all these people. What do you call? Have get re-elected from his base. That's the key thing that he has to focus as the leader of the Republican movement. So I would say here's my take. The speech was lengthy. Speech length was nearly 2 hours. Overall tone was Trumpian and defiant. Trump declaring golden era, where he was talking about, the State of the Union is strong despite the lower approval rating and economic concerns. He said he also talked about economic focus, celebrating the recovery, but overall, the plumping of the plummeting inflation, sweeping tax. He said oil and gas production is happening here. He also talks about the income tariff, and he also kind of touched upon the tariff that the Supreme Court said no. He's trying to figure out what is he going to do. He also said that what are the things I feel like in terms of fact checks, I would say false. Like Trump claimed that there's $18 trillion in investment. Fact checker noted that the figure is unsustainable, so unsubstantial, appear to be exaggerated, over verified, and unverified. So the $18 trillion investment is not really the investment he's talking about, which I kind of got annoyed. And then he also talked about the national gas is below, the gas price is below 2 gallon, but technically it's not 2 gallon, it's around $2.7 for a gallon. So it's just, $2 and 2.7. I don't know. He also talked about the inherited inflation, record inflation, but unfortunately, that's pretty wrong. When he took office, the inflation was 3%, and I think it's still like 2.9 or something like that. It's not a big difference right now, but where it peaked at 9% on 2022 under Biden. So he also said repeatedly that zero immigrations were here, but there was the immigrants coming in. So 28,000 illegal immigrants were into this country last year. So it's not technically zero. He also said that there is more job growth has been job growth is happening. People are working today, but while employment is high, this ignores the population growth and labor force participating rate, which not fully recovered from pre-pandemic, so it's still recovering. He also claimed that tremendous renewal in religion, faith, and Christianity data also shows us that prior research shows that no clear evidence like where religion is growing, or like Christianity is growing, or people are going to trying to search. But it was nice. He also talked about Charlie Kirk, which was nice. I was happy to hear that he was there. And the best part was having the U.S. hockey team. Both of the people stand up, the Republicans and the Democrats, which was nice. And then they also had a heated exchange between Ilhan Omar and what's the other representative about Minnesota fraud, and she was saying there was a lie. So which was fun to listen. Overall, every year, as in the past history, if you look at it, every year the system, the president's second year is always the lowest year of approval. Economy, everything goes down the trench. So it's not like it's fancy. It's in the past historical data shows every year a second year of any presidency is always like goes down the trench. So everything is trying to figure out, and the midterm is coming. I feel like the Democrats might win the Senate as well. So there's a big debate that's going on. So I don't know what's going to happen, but it's all we all have to keep the eyes open and see what we are going to talk. And we that's something great happened. We also saw Mamdani, New York City mayor, again going and meeting President Trump, and he has proposed he wants to get federal funding to build 12,000 units in New York City. I think it's great. I saw the way how Mamdani bought the magazine from 1982 and now, and showing how it is important. Trump can fix everything. So I feel like President Trump loves New York, and Mamdani wants to fix New York. I think it all correlates together. I feel like Mamdani is really smart, and I hope his smart thinking and way of trying to work together with President Trump, because he's going to be the president for next 2 years, 3 years apparently. So you can't change anything. So you have to be able to get the work done, because his record will go as well. So Namdani has to do something. And they had fun discussion, and I think everybody encouraged it, and everybody saw it as like a big step towards the bridge. I think Mamdani. I feel like the pathway for Democrats right now would be the characterization how Mamdani type of people can go and work with the other side of the aisle to do something good for the country, to do something good for the district. People always don't often talk about it. Like, when you are voting for this year in November, go and vote for someone who is going to really take care of your district, because you might not know the Congress has the power to introduce any bill. So Congress is technically under Constitution has the power to introduce any bill. So I think the whoever is going to be representing you since the beginning of next year will have the power to draft any bill that can change this country for good or for bad. So make sure when you go and vote or trying to do the research right now, who will be a fitting candidate that will resemble and talk and be the voice of your district. So that's the key thing. Forget about the whole country. Be for your district. What do you need? What needs to be fixed? And how are they holding up moral values? These are the things that you need to ask yourself the question, and ask yourself whether when you go and vote for X person or whoever is running on your district. So I'll do a later on a podcast more about the districts and blah, 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 how it works and how you can vote and who are the running candidates. So just to have an idea of what's going to happen, because later in October or September, I feel like we will have all the primaries will be done, so we can talk about it, and I'll be more than happy to update you guys on that. So we also had a big death of a big cartel, El Mencho, who was the Mexican cartel that he was the leader of the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, one of the most violent Mexican cartel drug trafficking organizations responsible for fentanyl and meth, cocaine, and heroin smuggling into the United States, which was great. They took him out. I think the United States helped the Mexican forces to find out. They basically gave them the intelligence to take him down. That was a great topic. I'm so happy about it, because we need to save the people and we need to save children. There's so many things that are happening across the border when people cross this country in the border in Mexico. And there was also a big chaos in El Chapo, in Tijuana, in a lot of other places. They took over, and there was fighting back and forth, and in Cabo, some places where there was a lot of problems, and then there's a lot of unrest that happened, burning of the vehicles, blah blah blah. And I think now it has all calmed down, but the Mexican forces are really strong and trying to uphold it. Don't forget that Mexico will be hosting the FIFA World Cup. That might be a big problem, because it's happening in July, so which is going to be a big question mark. Who is going to protect the players? Because if something happens for the players, it's going to be really, really, really hard for them to come back from that, or the players will be happy enough to go and play. We also had I was excited for this in the beginning, but unfortunately they had to delay the Artemis II rocket rollback to the hangar that was planning to launch to the moon, because of the weather conditions. Why it was done probably with the helium pressurized. So, and they also had problems, particularly with the helium pressurizing system, and prior concerns with the hydrogen fuel leak, prompting engineers to halt the launch preparation and troubleshoot the upper stage system. That means the upper stage system and the flight terminal termination batteries. So, which is a good thing. We don't want people to die. As consequences, the launch has been put forward. Cannot be attempted in March, so it will be delayed for some time. We don't know when. I think we will were released. So people, 3 Americans and 1 Canadians were released from quarantine because and they were also at guest since the mission was not going to go because we slipped the window. So hopefully the NASA will take talk about this. Is a lunar exploration I'm talking about, guys. So if you guys don't know anything about it, so that's what NASA is going to talk about. So hopefully NASA figures this out, and we will have the launch back again for moon. The humanity could step the feet again into the moon. We also wanted to talk about something really happened yesterday, where Block Inc., where the parent company of Slack, Afterpay, and Cash App, they are now firing 4,000 people from their divisions from this Thursday, yesterday, and it was very sad. Jack Dorsey, who was the co-founder of Twitter, is the co-founder of everything. He said that, we are not firing people because we are not losing money, we are not making money, they're making profitable. But as moving forward, they feel like AI could solve a lot of problem and could be more efficient and effective. But he did give them a good package, 20 weeks of pay, and plus every how many years they have been working, they got extra week for every year they have worked. So which was nice. And he also have medical, everything, they get everything. It was a good package that they all got when they got fired. But it's very sad now AI is taking over the job, and we might have an exciting news that I might be able to announce sooner or later. So fingers crossed on that. We are developing something that could solve all this problem. And I feel like it's very sad. At the same time, we need to go on a quick transition. And for me, as I always tell, right now we just took a diagonal steep development process on AI, right? And I think we are starting to hit a plateau where the AI will be going on a straight line, and then it will go like a curvature of development of AI tools. So this is the path where people have to get stabilized, I think, in the next 5 years until we achieve AGI. But that's also going to be like a slopey slope like that of a climb. I don't think it's going to be like a big climb again. And we saw this week Claude outperforming a lot of things, and I feel like Elon got really annoyed about it. I would rather say he was talking some crap about the company. I would rather say if you wanted to talk, if you are afraid of something that if they are your competitors, you might want to fix your tool and be a competitor rather than talking about nonsense about how unethical they are, blah blah blah. I think it's more good for you to advance and make sure that your AI, basically Grok that he owns, does something much better than any other AI that is existing right now. So which we have to talk about, I think, which is an interesting part. So I think Elon needs to focus on that aspects, I would say. Anyways, guys, so that's my take on it. I mean, it was very sad, but it is what it is. Things are changing. Everything is changing in this world so rapidly and so fast. So we don't know what's going to happen. So let's get to the international news. We had a big turmoil happening in terms of Epstein. Let me tell this. Andrew got arrested on his birthday, and they got later released. And it's a key thing that Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, formerly known as Prince Andrew, the Duke of York, the younger brother of King Charles, was arrested after. It's the first time in 400 years someone has got arrested in UK. And it's funny, we are not doing anything in the United States. I mean, we saw the Clintons go and have a deposition, but it was a closed deposition. And I wish they could have made it public. They didn't want to do it. It's all shady. And I don't feel like, it's very sad. We as a country should be taking a lot of initiative. We also had Lord Mountbatten. What's his name? Lord, who got arrested? Yeah, Peter. That was his name. What's his name? Yeah, Peter Mandelson got arrested. He was the former prime minister, sorry, former U.S. ambassador to UK. He got arrested, and this is where it gets. So he's under discussion as well, under the deposition in the UK. So UK people are getting arrested. We also saw the CEO of World Economic Forum resigning over Epstein scandal. This is crazy, guys. I think the domino effect is starting to fall. I think it's a slow fall. I feel like it'll go like slow, 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 and it'll be like big fall of a lot of things could happen. It's very, very. I don't want to talk about it. It's just so. It makes me so weird. It's talking about this Epstein file. I was very sad for the last 2 to 3 years. I don't want. It's really disturbing and haunting if you look at what has happened in these past things. And Andrew was accused of when Andrew was working as a trade envoy. That's where he was accused. He's been arrested that he has leaked information to Epstein during his tenure as a trade envoy, so that Epstein can make money out of it. That's the reason he got arrested on his 60th birthday, 66th birthday, on February 19th. So, which was, a very controversial thing. But anyways, the first time in 400 years anyone has been arrested in the UK royal family. And we also saw the former Norwegian Prime Minister Thorbjørn Jagland was hospitalized after attempting to commit suicide due to the Epstein corruption probe. And he was 75 years old, and he was also the ex-chair of Norwegian Nobel Committee, the Peace Committee. I don't know, guys. This is crazy when you look at it. Was Jeffrey Epstein involved in giving the Nobel Peace Prize? What the hell? Like, it'll be so disturbing, and I don't know. So he has been hospitalized in the mid-February due to health issues linked to the pressure and legal pressure while under investigations for aggravated corruption tied to his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. Oh my God, Epstein has really made a lot of impact. We had a great visit in Israel, where the Prime Minister Narendra Modi of India, visited Israel for the second time, I believe. For the first nearly in a decade he visited, but he did visit before, where they talked about it, and he was also the first Indian Prime Minister to receive an honor and to speak at the Knesset medal. He received a Speaker of the Knesset medal as a sign of honor, and he was also speaking to the the Israeli Parliament. That's the Knesset, they call it. And then he also emphasized some topic where he talked about what is the most important thing about that having a two-state solution and a peace Gaza is really important for the security of Israel and the security of the region. So he emphasized on it. It was very great to see him talking about how it is important for them to have a proper dialogue and finalize the problems with Gaza and Israel. So he touched upon on that. He also talked about the scientific between India and Israel. What are the cooperations they are planning to do on scientific research and innovation and ecosystem? He also acknowledged the tension on the region's security, including Iran. So a lot of things has happened, and Modi also talked about on his speech. I remember, if I'm not mistaken, he said, Netanyahu, you're more a friend. And then somewhere he said that while India was opposed to creating of Israel in 1948 and formalizing diplomatic relation in 1992, relations between two countries have grown since he became the prime minister. But he also said that, Modi also said that the deepest condolence for the people from the India, for the people that we lost lives. He talked about that. He also said that, there's zero tolerance for terrorism in India. But he also talks about elevating strategic ties. Yeah, he said that definiting India from Israel, Palestine. He also talked about where it is important, how we can build this relationship and have a stable Middle East. So that's something that he touched upon. So with that, guys, we also have another thing that Pakistan declared open war against the Afghan Taliban. I don't know, but it's just another stupid story. They fired missiles into Pakistan, into what do you call it, into Afghanistan, some regions. The military escalation has happened. Pakistani armed forces launched airstrikes to Afghan territory and hitting Kabul, Kandahar, and Paktia province in retaliation for what Islamabad said were attack on Pakistani border post. So the offensive dubbed operation called as Operation Ghazab Haq, involving ground and air operation along with Afghan and Pakistani frontliners targeting Taliban positions. And Pakistani forces reported dozens of Taliban fighters were killed and hundreds injured in the airstrikes. I don't know. Let them deal with their problem. I think it was a big mistake that we left Afghanistan. So, anyways, guys, thanks for joining Every Degree Matters. Hope to bring you the best of the best, and like us, subscribe us, share us, and let us know if we have to do something different. And stay safe, stay healthy. The economy is going to be a little bit, it's going to be a more volatile path in the next couple of months. So try to save, don't spend, don't want to extra spend it. So these are the basic things I could say. So with that, stay tuned for the next episode, and thanks for joining Every Degree Matters every week. I'm your host, Saffran Minhar. Talk to you guys next time.
Words out